In this video, we're going to be talking about how to take our image of our document and get it into Google Slides so we can turn it into something that is editable and changeable by your students that you can then put into Classroom. So we're going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen with you. The first thing that we need to do, in previous videos, we have already taken a PDF, either taken a hard copy and made it a PDF, or taken a PDF and made it an image. And so now we're ready to kind of finish up. And so the first thing that we're going to need to do is open up Google Slides and Drive, and you can just actually create a new document from Drive itself. You don't have to go to the Google Slides app. You can go just press this plus sign and go down to Google Slides. You can also choose a document. If you already have a document going, you can edit it that way. So click on Google Slides. And then we have a blank document here. If you prefer PowerPoint, you can do a very similar thing in PowerPoint, but just understand that when you put it into Classroom, it's going to turn into a Google Slides because the kids, to be able to edit it, will need to be able to will need to convert it to Google Slides. So it's easier to probably just make it in Google Slides. So you're going to now change the size of the slide. So the slide is presentation size. We're going to change it to 8.5 by 11 because that is the size of a piece of printer paper, A4, I think. So we're going to go 8.5 by 11. So what I did, I kind of did that fast. File, page setup. There's this little drop-down menu. I picked custom, and I'm going to change and put my inches in, and then there it is. Now, notice there's some text box here already. I'm going to get rid of those. We're going to add in text box later, but it's a lot easier to just add your own than it is to kind of reformat the old one. So we want a fully blank slide here. So now what we're going to do is change the background. So in this top toolbar, there is a background button. So we're going to select that, and we're going to do choose image. Now, mine is on Drive, so I'm going to click on Drive. If yours is in any folder that is on your computer, so your desktop, documents, anything like that, images on your computer, you're going to go to Upload and Browse or Drag. But mine's on Drive, so I'm going to do that. It should be in Recent, hopefully. There it is. I could also have searched. I knew it was called Adverb, so I could have searched right there. So I'm going to insert it, go Done. And now it is the background of my slide. The positive to this is that the kids, when they go back in behind you, is they cannot move it around. It's the background, and they can't change. I mean, I guess they could, but then the worksheet would be gone. So it will automatically come the background of the slide, and you don't have to do anything else. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is put in text boxes for the students to type in. So right up here on the toolbar, we're going to click this little text box button right here. And anywhere you click, it's going to add a text box. So I've added one there. It's kind of big. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. Up here on my toolbar is a zoom. I like seeing it closer when I do this. So notice this text box is huge. So I'm going to format it so it fits where I want them to type. You also want to test it to see. So make sure. Somehow I completely rotated my text box. I don't know how I did that. It's odd. Okay. You want to type in it to make sure that it's the right size for you. And then that's wrong. I can't let that stand. I just picked something and wasn't paying attention. So that's what they would do. That's what they would then go in and edit it. So what you can then do, I like to put in something like type here or text box or something, because that way they know where to type. So now what I'm going to do, instead of doing this over and over again, once I've got the right size, actually I'm going to make this a little smaller because I'm worried that these boxes are going to kind of be on top of each other too much. So what I'm going to do is, there we go. And now I'm going to duplicate this. You could do copy and paste too if you're more comfortable with that, which is Command C and then Command V for paste. Or you could do Command D for duplicate. Okay. Now, and you could even have them just kind of all lined up too if you want. And that's it. And we would just fill out this whole thing. One thing that's cool, just a little trick, if you click and pull, so I've made a square, so I clicked it and I'm dragging it, I've highlighted everything, I can copy and paste all of those, and now I have a bunch of text boxes. So I can move them around wherever I want. And this is basically it. Now I'm going to show you, I'm not going to worry about finishing that, you get the idea. So that is where they would go in and type. So I'm going to show you some examples of other documents and some considerations. So this is one, this has lines in it, like where they would write, say, a paragraph. And if I do a text box here and I want them to type, it's actually weirdly lined up. It may not do that. I like perfectly placed it. Of course I did for this demonstration, but let's say it didn't. Let's say it's like way over here and it's like not lining up. And that's annoying. So, sorry. So there are some things you could do with the text boxes. So text boxes come transparent. So there are some tools that you can use to change the background color or change the border. So here, the paint bucket tool, you can change it to a color if you want. So I'm gonna make mine white just so they know where to type. And then bring it all the way down here. And then I'm gonna also add a border. So I'm gonna add a thicker border and I'm gonna change the color. I'm gonna make it blue. Okay, so now I have this, my text box here. And again, I can just do type here. And same thing over here. So I'm gonna copy V, Command C, Command V. Bring this guy up, bring this guy up. And now I've got my text box and I can just continue to duplicate it down. And because I want to cover those lines because I don't want to confuse the kids by them typing kind of weirdly over the lines. There are some alignment things you can do. So like I could highlight this whole thing again and right click or two finger click if you're on an Apple, and I can align vertically, which means they're all going to go to the top, middle, or bottom, or horizontally, or I can distribute vertically. So like now my text boxes are all pretty. So that is one with lines. Now this one, I don't want it to have lines. I don't want it to have, I'm sorry, I don't want it to have a background because I like my cute little like teal background here. So I'm going to do a text box. What I am going to do is change the line. So I'm going to do a little dotted line around it. So see there. So it's a little easier for them to know where to type. Ooh, that's not what I meant to do. And that's a little big for that box, so I'm going to make that, bring that down to 12. Okay, and that is that. And then, so I would finish this. Now, down here, so here I have a bubble. I have bubbles. Now, how would they do that? They can't draw in Google Slides. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to give them a shape that they can move around. So I'm going to give them, let's see, a smiley face. Okay. And I can change the color of that, so I'll make it yellow. And there's my smiley face. And then I could even put in a text box with instructions and say, you know, here, let me make this 10. And move the smiley to your choice. So when they go in to edit this, they can use their cursor to take it and put it on whichever one that they would want. Okay, so that's basically it. And then after that, you would upload it to Google Classroom. Make sure that you do a version for each student, and then they would edit this and type into it, and then you would get to see their edits. And you would, you know, if you remember, if you have a multi-page document, like here is the one that we did in the previous video. This is the one that I scanned in the school copier, and so this had lines on it as well, and I didn't like those, so I put my text boxes like that. But it's a 2-page document, so I would give them a 2-slide document, and they would edit both pages. Okay, so that is how you take the image of your file and make it so the kids can actually go in and type in it. In the next video, we're going to go into some other kind of tips and tricks for other ways that you can utilize this, and as well as how to do something similar with Jamboard if you do need the kids to actually draw. So thanks, and I will see you next time.